city, still so far from home. I've searched for you all my life. Cast out like a shadow, racing towards the light. I pray to see you one more time. Watch me fall apart. I've always loved you more than you know. Father, don't you let me go.
Oh, whoops. That's not supposed to be showing. All right, we are live. What's up, guys? Making sure testing. Owl
Hi
test.
guys.
There we go. Okay, we can hear Owl.
Testing.
All right, guys.
Ooh.
What's up? So it is I, Grant Shadow, whatever you want to call me. We have Owl here with us today.
Hello.
Yeah, so we had to hurry up and do this after the stream. It's gonna be very short. I expect there to be a lot more people watching from the DVR instead of live, but that's okay. So the first thing you're wondering is, before we even talk about the comeback, why are we doing this on YouTube and not Twitch? Well, Twitch. Well, the thing about it is that for our goals that we'll talk about in a bit, we believe that just keeping everything on YouTube is optimal for us in our growth. So everything, our regular videos, our YouTube shorts, our live broadcasts, everything's going to be on YouTube, and that's just we believe that the growth opportunity here on YouTube is just better. Like, yeah, we made money on Twitch, but I just don't. We'll have much better ways of making money soon, and I just think that keeping everything together is better. So, yeah, now we talk about, I mean, I know Al was shocked, and I think others were shocked too about when we disappeared, right, Owl?
Yeah, I was like, I saw like obviously everything going on, and it was kind of sad seeing it gone, but I'm like so happy to see it back.
Right. So me and
You see people like Shadow working really hard from the ground up. Yeah. Sorry, I'll let you talk.
oh right. So just like Owl here, so you guys remember when the studio originally was closed, and we shut down the Discord and everything. So I'm gonna let you guys in on the behind the scenes of this all, and I'm not gonna throw anyone under the bus. That's not gonna happen. We don't do that here. This revivement of the studio is full of just positivity and happy stuff. You guys. I mean, this is great. You guys are gonna love this story. So it's August, I think. A lot of things are going on. We have the admittedly super ambitious final project that we're making, and it's already going downhill. We had a talented guy leave. Certain people are not happy. I myself am going through the last phase of a coding boot camp. Um, so at this point, I don't think I've told Al the whole story here. So this will be interesting for her to hear. But so basically, at this point, I said that if that big ambitious project fell through, I'm closing the studio. However, there was one thing. There's two things going at once. So we were working on a animation in Unreal Engine 5. So it was me, our two animators, Brad and Sean, um, and then David, who is the voice and actor for Bob. Um, so we're working on this little 1 minute or less minute project. Because remember, this is gonna be a YouTube short, and that David, he doesn't really partake in the meetings when we do this, but the other two, they were very excited about doing this, and because not only was it manageable, it's 1 minute. The tools on Unreal Engine 5 make things somewhat easier. It's just, and they finally got to do something. So basically, and again, I'm trying to keep it positive, but I think Al can agree that there were some voices that were not so positive inside the studio. We'll
Yeah.
say, yeah. So I go to my good buddy Nick, who's at the time planning to make his one last run on Twitch, and I tell him, "Hey, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna close it. Like, I need time to work on, I need time to work on website projects for my portfolio. I need, things like half the team doesn't even say anything in the Discord, and blah 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 blah. But my one condition is that this little animation project, I want to keep it, and I offer to edit, highlight videos of his Twitch and make a website because obviously that's part of the thing that I need to do. And well, he was kind of iffy. However, he allowed me to bring everyone from my the Storm My Studios Discord to his. I think Al remembers that transition period.
Yeah, I remember that definitely.
Yeah, and we're doing that, and as the project is continuing, and honestly, some people don't even like. They're just like, whatever about the studio closing. Internally, I mean. But a few weeks later, Nick tells me, "Hey, I'm done. I'm not no more Twitch, YouTube. I'm just not going to do this final run." Even after I tried to push for it, and I was disappointed. So in this meeting, the next time that me, Brad, and Sean meet, and funny thing is, we actually meet in this game VR chat. Um, yeah, we meet in this game, and because we don't live in the same area. We all live in different states, so it helps with the immersion. Um, but one of our meetings, Brad and Sean, I was asking them, "Hey guys, like for the distribution of this animation, what are we gonna do?" Like, because Nick's like, I wanted to put out through his YouTube, but he's done. And I think it was Brad that said, "Well, do you still have the assets and the domain for Storm My Studios?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And he's like, "Well, why not just bring it back?" And I hesitated at first because I feel like I sullied the name, when I closed it, and I was worried how a couple loud voices would have reacted to me bringing it back. Let me adjust my headset for a second. But then the two of them just convinced me, like, who cares what they think? Let's just do it. And I said, all right, we're doing this. So I didn't want to bring it back immediately. There had to be a plan. So plan number one was to have a project ready to go, because that was issue number one with the old studio. We had troubles finishing projects. Number two, I had to have the website ready to launch, or at least close to ready to launch, which is the status is almost ready to launch. Literally, guys, it's this close. It's literally like I'm trying to upload it, and the terminal is giving me fits. But I'm just gonna I'm gonna fix it. It's almost ready to launch. And we'll talk about that at the end. But and then number 3, I need to make sure whoever's in this skeleton crew, we'll call it, they had to be passionate and they wanted to be here.
Mhm.
So the original size was 11, 10 or 11, we'll say. Somewhere it kept
Mhm.
going, you know, between that number. The current size of our team is at 5. There's myself, there's Brad and Sean, who are our 2 amazing animators. We have
Mhm.
David, who is, he's doing voice acting and actual acting, and you could kind of say he's like a contributor. Um, and then last but not least, my good friend Vincent joined later on. He's basically just a contributor. He was in the movie. I'll talk about his role once we get to that. But we're about half size, and I'll tell you what, Owl, like things behind the scenes could not be any better. It's the passion is just like whenever I'm in these meetings in this game, like it just oozes inside the virtual room, and like the conversations, like things are actually going. We got a storyboard done. We have the initial voice acting done, although there's gonna be redone. We're gonna redo it, but as far purposes for the animation, we have the initial voice acting done, like scene prep, like character models, everything. Like we have a lot of things done on this animation. It's and right now, I believe one of our animators might be working on it as we speak. Um, but yeah, like
Ooh.
it's great. Like things have been going a lot smoothly. So kudos to the team that stayed behind. So yeah, Owl. So would you say that sounds promising to you in contrast to the last go around? We'll say.
Yeah, from knowing what happened, I definitely think it's way better. I know it's a small crew, but like as long as everyone's passionate about it and everyone wants to do it, that's the most important part. It doesn't matter about the people of how many people. It matters of who wants to do it, who's doing what, and yeah, just like I'm proud. Could not even be prouder, honestly.
Right, exactly. Al hit the nail on the head there, guys. So yeah, yeah. So that's basically the tale of our comeback. Now let's get into the movie, which I'm gonna go in depth of all the behind the scenes. It's gonna be really cool. You guys are gonna love this. So I had one of these meetings when this is the final meeting before we enter production on the animation. Um, and I'm talking with the guys again, and um, I told them, okay, so we're doing this animation, but as we all know, animation takes time. You gotta take the time to actually individually animate each body part one by one, and maybe not all every part. Like let's say if you're sitting down, um, you only need to work on the arms and the head and whatnot. But it takes time to do all those frames and to make sure it looks good. So even though it is 1 minute, we do have 2 guys. That they're splitting the work equally. So I told them, hey, like we gotta keep making this VR chat content because it's easy to make, and it's honestly fun to make too. So they agreed, and I told them, remember when we did that long video for Davis? It was a one where like we tried to like make him like a streamer, and I think it was about 8 9 minutes long. I don't know. Do you remember that one, Owl?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So I told them I wanted to make another one of that, and I knew this time around would be it'd go smoother because some of the people that did not like the longer shoots were not going to be involved. So I'm describing my idea. It's like it's gonna not be as funny, because like the shorts they're supposed to be funny. Like Bob gets mad about something and then he goes on a rampage. But this time, Owl, this was more dramatic. There was more action, and yes, there are still some little funny bits here and there. But this time around, we're doing something different, and I told them the idea, like it's gonna be like I'm gonna be playing my British soldier, the Commander Shadow. Bob's playing, or David is playing Bob again. Um, and they all loved the idea during the meeting. And then, funny enough, Inkling, whose new name is Sultan, not sure if I'm saying that right. He came in. I forgot. I made it the meeting friends, and he is a friend, so he was able, But I told them all this idea. Hey, like let's. Yeah, let me get my controllers back on. What the heck? I told them, hey, you guys just want to film this right now? And they all say, yeah, because there was a scene we didn't need David for it. It was actually the very first scene of the movie. That was the first scene of the movie is the first scene that we filmed. So basically, let me move this over here. Yeah, well, so basically, what happened was, we joined I think it was called Spy Check, and so I knew that one looked like we needed a world that looked like like a like a base, like there was screens and like it looked like all military-esque. So that world was perfect. The lighting was perfect. Like everything about it was just like I'm just glad I picked that world first. And we started filming this, and we weren't quite working with the script, although I had the lines in my head roughly. And tell you what, guys, like everyone in the room instantly knew that this was going to be special. And once we finished, I edited it right away, and like I just knew, oh, we have a good one on our hands, guys. So basically, it's the scene where the generals they need to talk about this new threat. Now we are actually debating on two different threats, Owl. Um,
Ooh.
trying to remember which two. So we were debating between having Uganda, basically like the Uganda Knuckles meme that originated from this game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So basically,
Yeah.
they were supposed to be like the enemies. I guess they're like the original idea was that they'd be like cloning themselves and like they'd be getting ready for like global invasion, and the United Nations needed to send in their full force in order to stop it and save the world and whatnot. It was either going to be that or the New World Order, because think about Naruto. You guys remember the World Alliance or whatever it was called, and they've had to fight an organization, the Akatsuki as we know. So I kind of wanted to go off like the entire world versus an independent organization. So and the New World Order, like it is a conspiracy theory, we'll call it. Like technically, like honestly, well, okay, we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole. But I asked the guys.
If we would be here all day. Sorry.
Yeah, we would be here all day. But I asked the guys, and we decided to go with the New World Order, which was fine. They felt like the Uganda one might have, because like Uganda's technically a real country in Africa, and I don't know, they felt weird about it, so I was like, whatever. But I showed David the full edited first scene, and he was blown away. Like I kid you not, guys. David was just completely blown away from that scene, and he knew, like just like what I thought, he knew we had something special. And because at first, like I was telling him, hey, I need to show you this, and he was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. But after I showed him, he was hyped about filming this. He was like, all right, when do we go? When are we starting? Let me drink some water real quick. Oh my goodness.
Stay hydrated. That's important, guys. Sorry,
Yeah.
my mouth
I've been talking for so long. So we filmed
Only
the
100. Yeah.
yeah. So I wanted to finish filming all on one day in middle October, Saturday, I think it was. It was a few days after we shot the prison scene. Not the prison scene, the exposition scene, the one the generals talking with each other. Um, and I managed to get some guys there. We got Armigi. Shout out to you, Armigi, if you're watching live or if you're watching like on DVR. We got Vincent, who was a contributor. So he did, you know, he's not. So Vincent's role, like, because he has things in life. We're not going to talk about that. He does have a busy schedule, but he's a contributor officially because again he is still passionate. He wants to work with us. So since he was available and he helped us out, like he played one of the security guards. I actually stab him in the movie. That's who I kill. He's the one that's watching the
That's
cameras.
the one.
Yeah, I grabbed because I knew in the movie because we were gonna do the prison escape scene, and like when you're doing like military stealth, like you always have to have the knife, like ready to like stab someone in the back, right? So, um, grab the knife, stab him in the back, and then I say my line, "No, not soldier," and yeah,
That's like
so
one of my favorite like scenes.
yeah, I really that was a good part,
It was just
especially
funny. Oh,
the way I did it too was pretty good. Originally, some of the guys were saying like, "Hey, let's use like one of the lunch, like when you play Prison Escape, there's like the lunch trays, and just use it to like whack them." But like,
yeah.
I was against it for two reasons. Number one, it wasn't like my character is like full on like he's we'll say in his like 30s, like he's been around the block, like he full on military, like it didn't match his style of fighting. And the other reason why was because the knife actually does something in the game. I wasn't a big fan of like
Mm,
having to act out like because this game's kind of limited when you're not using full body tracking. So I
yeah.
went with the knife, and I think it worked out much better than what could have happened with the lunch tray. Um, so the annoying thing about
This
Prison
is
Escape,
sorry.
yeah. So the annoying thing about Prison Escape is you have to like set a time limit. You can't just make it infinite because that'd be, well, when would the game end if two sides are like trying to like you know something's got to give, I guess, for a victory. So I set it to the max, which is 10 minutes, and I swear to you, Owl, we had to like do this 5 times. Like we had to like yeah, like I think we did 5, maybe 6 times. We had to like keep doing it. So filming for the prison escape scene went on for close to an hour. It went fast. It went smooth. I wish some of the guys would not shoot during the filming, but because if you guys near like the end, if you hear like the random shooting, it's because they were doing that. But
Mm.
oh well, you gotta live with your crazy cast of characters. Am I right, Owl?
Yeah, very true. But hey, I guess it was fun though. Even if it did take ages, but happens to best of us, especially
Yeah,
professionals.
yeah. So the most annoying part was because like when you restart the thing, I have to go grab the knife again, grab the lighter, like make sure that we're and it always just spawns in different parts of the map. So I was like immediately when the game starts, I have to check for all that stuff. It gets really annoying, so whatever. But yeah, like the guys that were there, Brad, because Brad also he played the British general at the beginning. Which, by the way, to our local British resident, what would you say about his Scottish accent?
He has a really good accent, honestly. I was really impressed.
Yeah, same here. I think my
It was
favorite
really
part.
great.
Yeah, I think my Al. I think my favorite part of that whole thing was when my character shows up and I'm pointing the gun at him, like kind of acting like a drunkard. Like I just came back from the bar, like I'm wielding my gun around. Why don't you
Yeah.
drink something better? And then he's like, "Put the bloody pistol down, you drunken bastard!" And he just goes on his little spiel. Yeah, I don't know. Just everything he said in that part was just hilarious. yeah, but we filmed it. We filmed the prison escape, and the funny part is that like I had to rush the camera. Like I'm like taking the camera, I'm like rushing it to get that last sequence where I unlock the gate. I had to like hurry. Like once I said my lines, I had to like hurry, grab the camera, put it right there to wait for the gate to open. So I'm really glad that there's a bit of a delay because otherwise I would have been kind of screwed. Like I would have had to like refill, like go back and like film it again. But then I had to hurry because like we fell under 1 minute once like it got to the action, the shooting part. So I had to hurry. I had to like film the gate going up. I had to film the guys shooting at us, like the North Korean guards, and then I had to film me and Bob escaping from the North Korea. So that was fun. Now here comes the best part, like the most interesting part of this whole movie. I won't really address the scene where like we're getting briefed on the mission. You know, it was just kind of normal. Brad was being funny. I will not repeat some of the jokes he said, but I think the part that was really interesting was filming the aerial battle, Owl. Now, Owl, I think besides your scene, of course, wouldn't you say that was your favorite part of the movie?
Yes, I'm like very impressed with the filming because of knowing, like, being part of it, of like knowing how long it took to, like have to keep readjusting camera, keep like keeping the planes in the sky, keep like editing and all that. It's just so impressive. It went so smooth.
Right. So I'll go ahead and tell you guys how that all came together. So the week in between, the 2 weeks before we got to film, I had to film the part with Brad on the aircraft carrier. Um, I was going to like VR chat, and I was just like going to like the biggest serve like lobby I can, and I would just be filming whatever I can of aerial combat. I had to get as much footage as possible. Fun fact: Top Gun Maverick that had hundreds of hours of aerial just flying. Because the thing is, you have to get the best of the best shots, and that's what you have to use for the filming. So it doesn't come right away. Like the cream rises to the top. So I'm trying my best,
Mm.
and there was a lot of footage I did not use. I don't know if you know that, Owl. There was a lot I did
I
not
did not know
use.
that.
Yeah. Um. So I got a lot of like, I got a lot of good battling, and I had to make sure I got certain things. Like I managed to get a plane landing. That was like that was just pure luck. I'm not gonna lie. I managed to get the aircraft carrier getting the explosions. Um, I managed to get I managed to get like a really good one of like the scene where my character Shadow, I'm like flying. Um, we're like I said I'd help out Blue Squadron, and then I'm flying, and then um like like the camera like it like meets the two planes in between, like it's going down. I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember that particular moment, but like sometimes like I get into like a jet, I'd put the camera in front of me and make sure it's just outside the jet, make sure the camera's zoomed out all the way just in case. Sometimes, but not all the time. But man, like just it was hard because like sometimes like these people are trying to shoot me down, and that's what makes it hard. And but I managed like just in all of that I managed to get good footage. Um and then I had to film the parts where we're all in the pilot seat and the general's giving out his commands because I knew we were not going to be able to like rehearse all the aerial fighting, and I knew I wouldn't get enough people because I only had myself, David, and Brad available for that day. So we finished the part where like the general gives us the briefing after we escape North Korea, and then I invite them to the aircraft carrier world, and Brad he loads in just fine, but David, because I don't know what it is, I think it's his internet to be honest, like something because it's not his headset, and it might have been, I don't know, but he was having issues. So once I realized David was not going to be able to like film, I told Brad, okay, well, you know what? Let's just film your parts now, and then what I will do is I will film the Bob parts myself with the avatar, and then we'll just dub over it. So we filmed the general parts, and I'll tell you what, he did a good job with the voice acting there. Wouldn't you agree, Al?
Yeah, I definitely agree. He did great. It was also because obviously bear in mind of all the times of having to say exactly at the right point with the camera and everything. He did an excellent job.
Yeah, I really like when he's like, "Shadow, I repeat, Shadow, are you good up there, soldier?" Like, and then I think my favorite line was when he's like, "Tell the reserve to let me think of what he said. It was tell the reserve to protect the ship at all costs. They rain in hell down upon us." Like the way he delivered that line was just perfect. So, by the way, something we haven't really talked about much about the movie as a whole. The voice acting for the most part was good. Like honestly, like I could there were a little bits and pieces I could have done that better. But Al, like you like when I was doing Commander Shadow, you probably like you would not have thought like had I not done that voice before and I just showed you the movie, I didn't put any credits, you probably would have not known that was me.
Yeah. I didn't know like who it was until the end. Like I was just like, these are you couldn't tell, but like in a good way, you know.
Right, yeah, and David, I thought he did good with Bob. I think some of my favorite lines he delivered was when he's like, "Oh, that's great and all, but how do you plan to get us out?" Or I think my other part was like, "You're broken in North Korea. How'd you do that?" I don't know. The way he delivered the lines, I thought were pretty good. Um, Inkling, he did a good job with as the Japanese general. I thought. In case, by the way, if you don't know who the Japanese general was, it was the one. Well, I mean, you know what Inkling sounds like, but like to the audience that doesn't know Inkling, now known as Sultan, um, he was the one that had like the white uniform, and he kind of had like the cold, like the more colder, like way of talking. Like you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
The kind of like he did
yeah,
a
I get what you're
really good
saying.
job with his acting, especially when him and Brad, who was playing the British general, they're having their back and forth. I thought that was a really really good voice acting. Right. So then I think it was Monday. So I after I filmed the parts with Brad, I look at this is the hardest part. I have to look at the footage of what I got after I go through and find the best parts. Somehow put together how the title of the battle would go, and then film my lines out of that. So I did 3 characters. I did myself. I did the leader of Blue Squadron, and that explains why you guys did not see the other Blue Squadron. Like in Star Wars, we'll say, or in Top Gun, like you would see everyone's perspectives. Like even in Star Wars, like let's say like the Battle of the Death Star, like you see the guys getting blown up and whatnot right before. Well, I couldn't since it was just me. That was like one of the restrictions, and probably one of the lesser parts of the movie was the fact that I had to I basically had to like use the leader of Blue Squadron as a way of like showing like what was happening to the squad. So that was kind of like one of the small shortcomings, like one of the things we had to work with. But I think it worked fine in the end. But I think when I was like my parts and like when David did the dubbing for his character, like I think those two were really good. Blue Squadron, like that one was kind of the weaker voice acting I did, but again, I had to like make it different. Um, but I think like when I put everything together, and I know like there's a like I try to put it in a way in which you tell like you can kind of tell like who's doing where. Like for example, the enemy aircraft is coming towards Bob, so I show Bob like looking that way, and then the next shot is like a jet coming this way. Like you see the airbase in the background, like you see the jet coming this way, you see two coming this way. That was basically meant to show like Bob's trying to get away from the enemy aircraft. Like he was going to do his bombing run, but he has to go into evasive maneuvers. I think the part that probably what
Yeah,
confused most people was when Blue Squadron and like the enemy were attacking each other. Like I didn't quite like make it clear who was who was the good guys and who was the bad guys. Like personally, I felt like it didn't quite matter. That you said like you would know after the Blue Squadron leader would be talking to Joe, saying like General, Blue 2 and Blue 3 have been blown up. We're getting killed up here. Because like that was like right after a scene where like a jet blew up two other jets. Just like so you kinda had an idea, okay, so that's what happened there. But otherwise, it was just plain like just raw plane fighting, just to give something good for the camera. Like you couldn't quite tell like I guess the one part where like you see like the one like you're looking through this view like from here to here through the in the jet and like you hear like that do 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 and then the next thing you know like you see one enemy jet fire two missiles and it gets blown up. Like you could tell like the enemy like the good guy
Yeah.
got blown up from the enemy. And then but I
Mm.
think near the end like once my character like once I said oh I will provide backup for Blue Squadron, you were able to follow pretty well what was going on. Like first I was trying to attack and also evade the enemy at the same time, and then I start flying towards like the other side of the aircraft, like the fleet, and then you see me like blow up one of the enemy aircraft, and we'll say it was Blue Leader I was flying with. We fly by, and then the next part you see Bob's jet fly over to the air base, and then he bombs it. And then I think my favorite shot was when my character he has to like attack the advanced weather balloon because it had like the AI or whatever that would continue the attack if whatever. So you could very clearly tell like my jet was flying up, and you could see like the different perspectives, and it was awesome. And then now you managed to come in and pinch hit for me, we'll say, and we're able to do the news for me. Isn't that right?
Yeah. I was very honored when you asked me to. So you're like, oh, you're available, and I was like, I wasn't sure, but I wasn't. I'm happy that I got to be part of it. It was great.
Right. Yeah. So first I had to like get into this like avatar, which
The thing, obviously, like, as it was my first time kind of doing something like that, as everyone who's a first timer with there, you're a bit nervous, but I knew, like, you always had my back, and it went well. Bear in mind, it was my first go.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
Like we
So thank you, Shadow, for the honor.
it was short, but it was short. So I guess like if it went short, it went well. So I literally wrote up the script like for Owl minutes before she got on. Too, I thought that was funny, but it was nice because like you could like I guess it's funny because like we had two other British characters in the movie, so you could say it was the BBC doing the broadcast, because like my characters, I don't know, but first of all, I love the way you pronounced New World Order. Like it was like just full on. I wish I saw that before I did the like my. I wish I filmed that like first scene and then I did all the scenes with my character in it, so I would have had that as a reference. But um, you're like, oh my god, this guy. Well, anyways, but yeah, so Owl comes in. She helps me film the news part. Because I was thinking, like, okay, so how do I show how the battle ended? Like, how do I, like, tell the audience the aftermath? Because that's how I'm thinking about the whole movie. Like, how am I going to describe this? How am I describe the threat? Like, okay, so we'll have, like, this general's meeting, and the one guy's going to, like, give the briefing. Like, how am I going to show all this? Like, that was very important to me. Like, how is information being conveyed to the audience? So Owl comes in, helps out a lot, and she conveys to you, the audience, like, okay, well, see, this is what happened after the battle. Like, um, we actually gave the city a name because, like, in the first scene of the movie, like, all Sean's character says, like, the U.S. general, he says, like, oh, they built a city, like, it's kind of like floating in the middle of like the Southeast Asian Ocean, and I forgot to give it a name, but I mean, I just, I didn't. I want to go with something that didn't quite. It was rather just like unique. Like you couldn't quite like say like, oh, this is a lot like this language or that language. Like it's the new world order. You know, they're trying to create a world government, like give it something that's doesn't quite belong with any culture or language.
Hang on.
We're gonna say
Sorry, I'm
something.
having technical difficulties. I don't know if you can hear me.
I hear you.
Very professional. I literally can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can't hear you.
My bad. I muted my camera or my thing on accident.
I thought it was me.
Okay, how
Sorry.
much did I miss?
Back to it, guys.
How much? Okay, what was the last thing I said?
I don't know because I was trying to listen to the stream, but because of delay, I got really confused with it.
Okay. I think I was talking about like we made up. I had to like give the city a name that wasn't quite matching other cultures or languages. So yeah. So Owl, thankfully she said it right the first time. I didn't have to worry about it. The city of Udak, you know, because the way like in the map, it's literally just a city that's just like it's a kind of like in the like next like a small piece of land, you know. So I feel like it kind of worked out because like you have to like think like how's the enemy like how are they getting their funds? Like yeah, these guys are billionaires, but we're talking about global war. You have to like make some. You need to have like your, you know. So, anyways, and you know, I did film Owl's part with like different camera angles, which thankfully, I mean that helped me out. But I want to make sure like there were parts of it where like you see like what was going on. Like first you saw the city, and by the way, the shot was great, wasn't it? Like the camera, like the way that the camera moved.
I agree.
And, I think one of my favorite parts was Owl's talking about like the heroes of the battle, and you see the shot like there's like a city, and it's like nighttime, and you see Bob walking up. So I actually filmed that part myself because I knew I wouldn't have to speak because Owl's already speaking for him. You know, like what happened, and you know that's the little bit of setup I'm giving you guys. Like, okay, so Bob he disappears after the battle. It looks like he's in hiding. Like, well, that's kind of like the little tease of the next major film or whatever we want to call it. We do so. And Owl will probably be questioning what happened at the end because she does the part where she's like, okay, so like there's a Shadow's enjoying, he's drinking at a bar or whatever pub in Japan, and she remembers me filming there, and there was a different ending. So because I couldn't think of anything at the time, I was like, you know what? Hey, like I have this Solid Snake skin, you know, just make it like a crazy, like oh whoa surprise character at the end. But I'm going back. I didn't quite say my lines right. Like I was talking about how good the socket was, and then I said this tastes terrible, which I meant to say for the Irish piss. Um, so then like the music I didn't like I used like this tension type music, and the transition was just weird. I liked the music like when Owl starts talking and like is going through everything. Like I'd rather just like ride with that music to the end. And I feel like using especially like using another company's character at the end was kind of because I had to like I tried to voice Snake myself and I couldn't quite do David Hayter's voice, so I took a clip from Metal Gear Solid 2, but it's raining, and it's just like it was the best clip I could find, and I edited the whole thing together. Like I did the very good scene with Bob. Like let's talk about the plane scene. Where me and like we're sent on a private jet from the UN. We're flying over to the fleet. Remember, like there was no music in that scene. Did you notice that?
Yeah, that was like it's because of all the talking, like you know the context. Sometimes in short films / films, it's nice to have like just audio, like just like us talking right now, because it makes you kind of listen more and focus more on the characters itself. Like, you know, kind of like us talking. People kind of connect more when you get to know the characters.
Exactly, and it's great that you mentioned that because in that scene, I really need you guys to, like, focus on this conversation because I realized after I upload the video that there are some things you have to watch in order because you know listen, I never like Bob was never actually supposed to happen. It was always supposed to keep going on as Davis, but uh again, we're gonna keep things positive. We're not throwing anyone under the bus, but let's just say some drama happened, and well, we all know that the
Yeah.
actor for Davis quit, and I had, we had the funeral scene, which okay, so I had to like figure out, okay, so back in that short where I did the funeral, I ended the series. I said that he died, but what if instead of he actually
Mm.
died, like just full on dead, like his cells completely stopped working? What if he was just in a coma? Because like then that would make sense. Like let's say like the coma, like he couldn't like it'd be small chance he'd wake up, and my character somehow finds a way to like make it so like he for sure will, but like he had to like change his appearance, and because of that we had to like give him a new name and everything, blah blah. So I guess like that way, like when I was writing that for my character, it made more sense. Like how the story was. So like that. So you guys gotta remember, like I gotta make the story flow. Like I gotta. This is continuing on. So Al, like you probably remembered some of those like flashback scenes, didn't you? Like the beginning part where Bob's sleeping and
Yeah.
there's like the sad music and he's having flashbacks of when he was doing the streaming thing. And I had to make sure that Murray was shown in his flashback too for later on. And then he picks up the gun, and this is the first time he's picked up a gun since killing Murray. So he picks up the gun, and that's when he just the flashback comes back to him. And I know he made it way like, but yeah, whatever. And then he has like the flashback where he kills him on camera, like live TV. Um, so I had to like make sure that like we addressed that before the battle because that Bob had to go through some things, and my kid would be like, "All right, listen to me," and because my character is a guy that's been through war, and all that, so obviously that makes sense why, like honestly, like the interactions between my character, like Shadow and Bob, were actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, like you kind of felt like there was something there between the two, even though they like Shadow like knew of him, but he never met him until he got to the North Korean prison. How
Yeah. Like he heard about him, but like didn't know who or what he really was until they like saw each other for the first time.
right? Yeah. So I think like when you think about it, like they kind of like grew on, like like first like yeah they're working together, but it's kind of loosely like Shadow goes on to do his part, Bob does his part, he does all goofy too because my character just tells him, oh well, just start a fire, I don't know, just do whatever with the lighter. Of course, I was working with the limitations of the world, which meant like I knew that in Prison Escape you have to like light the toilet paper and throw in the washer. So I was able to like, okay, so Bob's character is more goofy. So like he's like lying, he's like, and he just like accidentally lights the toilet paper. It's like, I love how David did that too. And he just like throws it in just to get rid of it out of his
Same.
hands. But they're loosely working together, and then he has this flashback, and Shell's like, "Or I need you to be ready right now. We're about to go to war." We're not exactly close yet, but I deliver him to the general. He briefs us, and then the plane ride is where the real like character bonding happens because it's just us. Like we're being. I have to like tell him about my experiences in war and sending out my brothers to really just to die on suicide missions, and I tell him about his past because he doesn't remember certain things, but I want to make sure of that too. Like when he woke up from the coma, he lost some memories. So when he did picked up the gun, like that triggered the memory to come back. So, oh my gosh, I'm keeping. I swear to God, we're so close to being done.
That's fine. It's fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, but what was I gonna say? But yeah, like then, like once we got to the final battle, the jet flying, you could really tell Al that the two were like they were okay. We can trust each other. Like we can fight this out. You know.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
they were like, we're here to work together. We're not here against each other.
I wouldn't necessarily say work against each other, but like more so like they couldn't quite like gel together, like kind of like a sports team. Like, okay, you get the rookies in, and like the veterans, and they you need to like spend time to practice and work together. But near the end, they bonded. Like they were, like they knew exactly what to do, and I guess now back to the ending. So basically, what I wanted to do instead was like I had to like kind of like make it a little philosophical. So he's alone in the Japanese pub. He's taking his one drink, and he doesn't. Shadow doesn't quite look like he's super happy after his victory, and he says, "War never changes," because that's true. He's always gonna continue to be fighting wars, but that's just the nature, the nature of his character. So, anyways, I wanted to do post credit scene, but I couldn't quite do one. But I think as far as like setting up Bob for disappearing, I think that was good enough setup for now. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I agree, definitely.
Right. So that's the behind the scenes of the movie, guys. So that was really every single little thing I could go through and tell you about how it was filmed. That's just about, unless Al, do you remember anything special from our part?
I think it's just like the fact of just it all came together perfectly, and that's just due to Shadow and his team. Like they all work together great, and yeah, I couldn't see any other way to be honest.
Right. And also shout out to besides Owl, Inkling, or Sultan, and Armigi, who are not team like a part of the studio, but they volunteered and helped us out. I mean that was, we really needed that. So right, so moving on to the last part of this stream, we went through the comeback, we went through the behind the scenes of the movie. Let's talk about what's next for, because there's not much to talk about there. So I did indeed bring back the Discord by request of a member who did not like my DM advertising. uh, I mean, he kind of had a point though, like, because listen, I wanted as many people to watch this. Like, I put so much effort into that movie. I was like, okay, nah, I needed so many people to watch this, but he told me like, hey, like, yeah, he didn't know the server went down or the studio shut down. So I explained it all to him. Like, you know what? Let's just do it. I wasn't gonna bring back Discord, but you know what? I'm not gonna, because we're not gonna do as many at every once. I promise. I promise you guys, we're not gonna do that. Um. So yeah, we have the Discord. You'll want to go there, follow us on X, follow us on Instagram for all updates on everything. The website, I am gonna try and get it out soon. Like, it was supposed to come out this week. It might still come out this week, but I swear on my life, uploading this son of a bee has been annoying. Like, I'm not gonna go. Like, it's just technical stuff, guys. That's really it. It's basically ready to go. Once it does come out, though, Owl, it's, first of all, the layout is pretty nice. I am gonna update it at some point. Like, for starting out, it is gonna be a pretty nice layout. Every button should work. There's no dead links, as I like to call it. You will be able to make your own account, and yes, the passwords will be hashed. I cannot read your passwords, guys. Anyways, and if you're worried about that, then just make a unique password for this one site. All right. But anyway, so we have it. But yeah, so there's some security as far as the accounts go. You can make your own user. You can, once you log in, you'll be able to. We have the whole catalog of our videos on there, which is pretty neat. They're all I put them in like little cards, and the database just grabs them and make a card for each one, which is really nice. And I added a section for a store, because that's right. In the future, on the website, you will be able to purchase merchandise from us. The number one.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. See, see, right? Yeah.
I did not
Now,
know about the website, so like this is more my raw reaction, honestly. I'm
yeah.
stoked,
So
dude.
we got
I'm
site like I.
stoked.
Oh yeah, like I know how to do the whole like purchasing part. We're gonna use Stripe. I already have an account for that, thankfully. But yeah, I was taught how to use Stripe, so we're gonna use Stripe. Um, as our like as for like the money exchanging thing or whatever. Um,
Mm.
that again, that's just what I was taught to use. So I don't know. But anyways, so yeah, we're gonna use Stripe. We're gonna I'll make that because that whole section is gonna take some work. I have to like make the cards. There's gonna be a lot of like verification and blah blah, all that work. So that's why I was like, you know what? I just want to put the site out soon. Like I want to put out with the content coming out, and then we'll have like the store come out later when I can put a lot of work into it. Because I have to like make sure I like put like I have to make sure like okay, so this section is the this is the this is the shirt section, this is the mugs and blah blah. But we're gonna start off with the shirts that we already like my supplier, he's already made a few of them for me and my team. We'll start off with that, and then we'll go on like shirts and hoodies. The hoodies are comfortable.
I
I'm
love
just telling
these.
you. Oh yeah.
Sorry.
They will cost more sadly, but hey, I'm not the one making the
Yeah.
prices.
Makes sense though.
Oh yeah, again.
More material for hoodies anyway, so.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I think that's why it costs more. But I just gotta meet up with my supplier. We gotta work out our contract. We gotta sign contracts for these like a real business would. And then we'll see what kind of merchandise we can do. Then we'll grow the store from there. I wanna, you know, it's gonna be great. I can't wait to put the store out. There's gonna be other things too. I'm planning to add a message board on there, so we'll be able to like add comments and stuff through that. Just like we would on Reddit or Discord or something. Um, there might be a possibility I could put like very simplistic like games on there too, but we'll see. It depends on how Godot's exporting to HTML works. But yeah, the website is gonna be great, guys. Like this is my passion project. So eventually you'll be able to like update your user stuff, like your password, your username, email, description. You'll be able to like put like an image at some point. I'm having issues with that, but there is a solution. I just gotta figure out how to make it work. There's gonna be all kinds of great things coming towards this website, and I cannot wait when the website is, all these features I'm talking about are out. So right. Holy crap, dude! This stream's going a lot longer than I thought.
Right.
I thought this would be like 20 minutes. What else is so we have the
sorry.
Oh yeah. So we have the Unreal Engine 5 animation. I swear to God, if this is the last thing I do, it's gonna come out. It's gonna be like a YouTube short and an Instagram reel, but it will come out, guys. It's gonna be cool because it's gonna be different than what we're used to seeing. So, and then lastly, so as far as VR chat content, because this isn't quite animation, I'm using a game to do all the processing and all that. But so that's why I call Stormlight Studios an animation and film studio. But we're gonna continue doing this. Of course, it's easy to make, and what I'm gonna do is gonna be unique. So starting in a couple weeks or so, where I'm gonna take individual clips from the movie and put them out as YouTube as shorts. So that'll be neat. Like I got like there's like we can make like almost 20 of those out of that movie, So that'll be neat. Of course, because we gotta grow and all that. But and then starting next year, we'll have the regular Bob shorts again, and maybe my character will have his own shorts too. We'll see. Definitely his own film. Maybe like an 8-minute film, like the stream business one was. It's kind of hard because like it's hard to film myself with the camera Cause like I have to be acting, doing some actions, and then make sure the camera like I can't like move the camera. But we'll figure out a solution for that. But that's it for the future. You know. So yeah, Owl. What any thoughts you want to share at all?
Uh, I do have a question. Like,
Okay.
you know, with the filming, like, actually, it's not really a question; it's a statement.
Okay.
Oops. But you know, like the filming and shorts, I really like them.
Mhm.
Like, because the film, you know, you get to see something serious. But with the shorts, like, you get to see the characters for who they are, like the funny times and like the serious times, and you know, you get to see them for them, not like somebody else, or it's more focused on them. So I quite like. Yeah.
Exactly, and we put it perfectly because of the shorts. It's more like the slice of life every day, funny stuff, and then with the film that the streaming business and Bob Goes to War. That's what really like pushes the story. And I know like a few shorts we did like they were a continuation of what happened, but for the most part, it's just random slice of life, just doing stuff. Um, of course, I did like the where he escapes from prison and then he dies on the way because it was Nick is the one that kills him, I guess, well, kills him. But of course, we all know that he was in a coma now, which I'll have to make.
Mm.
So, but we'll do some um we'll do some more shorts, and at some point we gotta talk about when he disappeared and why did he disappear and what like what's he do like what's he's been up to, which will probably be separate from what my character is doing, which I already have a pretty decent idea what's that's gonna look like, which is more war. Um,
Mm.
maybe a spy mission or two, but yeah. So that's kind of it for the thing that we covered all of our bases on this stream. But yeah, me and Owl, we basically did this hour and a half long stream, which I wasn't expecting to do. But thank you to Owl for staying the whole time. Since I
Worth
know
it
it's
though.
11:30,
You
I
reckon?
think.
Yeah, but it's worth it.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, guys. To those who are either watching live or they're gonna watch the VOD of this, thanks for listening to us. Thank you for coming back. And listen, I swear to God, I'm not gonna the Discord, like we're gonna keep it for a long time. I swear. I know you guys are tired of constantly going to new Discord servers because of me. Like I mean, I had some of you join Owl's server in the meantime, and she does her own thing. Which Owl, where can the fine people that are watching Stormy Studios find you at, Miss Owl?
Well, they find me on my Twitch, which yeah, well, obviously, that's original Owl. Not self promotion, I'm saying, and
Well, this is the
yeah,
time
that's
for
pretty
self
much
promotion
what
right now.
platform I use. Oh, okay. But yeah, like my most channel is Twitch, which is original underscore Owl, and also I do have a Discord, which is attached to my Twitch, so that just makes it easy. And yeah, like I just be myself, and if people like that, then they come, you know?
Yeah. So out. By the way, her Discord is very active. I've out of like servers made
Mhm.
by my friends, I've never seen such an active server, which is crazy. I was doing something wrong this whole time. Me and Nick were, which by the way, actually, there's one more thing. There's one more thing that I need to address, which is personnel and how all that's going to work. So right now, at this instant, we are not going to expand. We're going to stay at 5 people. Technically, Al's kind of like the half, we'll say. As far as because she's going to be our Discord admin. I had no problem with that. She's kind of like she's like a half, we'll say. I think that's fair to say, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
But
That's fair.
guests and whatnot. We're gonna stay with that for now. I do not plan to expand anytime soon. When I do expand, um, I probably have 2 guys from the old studio I'll bring back. when they're done with their school. One guy's going to be like our technical, like kind of like IT esque. He's gonna be doing a lot of like the hardware and stuff, like because in the future, like I'm like we're gonna be using more tech to make the animations easier, like motion capture and the virtual cameras and such. So that'll make things more fun and like easier and more like better. So he'll help out with that, and then another guy, his brain is practically a CPU. He's going to help out with the programming for the software that we use and add more stuff to it. But after that, like we'll see what the future holds. I do have partners in the business. I have a music guy that I need to reach out to, my supplier for the shirts and all that. Definitely going to talk to him at some point, but no, there's no plans to expand. Nobody's, including myself, is getting paid for now. But like I said, like once the website comes out, I am going to use ads, and you guys will buy things like this store. Maybe we'll make a little money off YouTube. We'll see. But once the money starts flowing in, yes, everyone that is a part of the studio gets paid. So that's it from us. So me and Owl, you can't use your hands now, can't you? Because you're on computer. It's all right. We're gonna do a weird high five like this. And let me get back up. All right. So
one day we'll be able to.
From JobCon Exhibition 1 in VR chat, this is Grand Owl signing off.